Welcome back to Vibe Theory, guys. I'm your girl, Elle Boogie.
What's up, everybody? I'm Beezy. Happy Black Music Month and happy Pride.
Yes, yes, yes. So, guys, we're going to be talking about several things here today. So, we've got countless things that we're going to talk about. First thing we want to talk about, first and foremost, let's just jump right into it. This past weekend, we had the 49th annual Atlanta Jazz Festival here. And we got an opportunity to see uh, several great, phenomenal talents here that graced the stage. And so we're going to go ahead and give you a brief recap on that. And then we'll also start talking about, we're going to revisit another classic episode that we have here, the 2026 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees.
Yeah.
So we're going to
Yeah.
take another look at that. And we're going to talk about some of the artists that we feel was snubbed. So more to come on that, guys. So let's hop into it and let's start things off with Piedmont Park. So the
Yes.
49th annual Atlanta Jazz Festival was held in Piedmont Park, Atlanta's Central Park, right? Atlanta, Georgia Central
Mhm.
Park. And it kicked off on Saturday and it actually finished up on Monday, which was Memorial Day. And so we did have several great talents to come through. Starting on Saturday, we had Nate Smith, one of Grammy Award winning drummers. And I must
Yes.
say that I had the privilege to see this man before he won that Grammy and after. So he was doing a workshop. Ebony had what we call like a workshop. So they also had a sound
Nice.
stage. And so Nate, I got an honor to see him actually talk about in the pocket. And BZ, that's something that you and we're going to probably have to explore on another future episode,
Yes.
in the pocket, because there was a lot to be said about in the pocket. And then
Nice.
for anyone who is musically inclined, you would know what we're talking about when we say in the
Yes.
pocket. So, but
Yes.
it
And
was
Nate Smith is
fantastic.
a
Yeah.
great artist. So
Yes, he is.
so absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. Riding High on a brand new album for 2026,
Yes.
features tons of great artists themselves that are make guest appearance on that album. One in particular is Miss Hathaway. So that
Yes.
song that they have together has been really
Yes.
charting the charts right now. And so
Yeah.
we just want to say kudos to Nate Smith and a great job personally what he's been doing, especially in music and just forging the way of becoming one of those great and renowned drummers of all time.
Yes.
So I do want to
Yeah.
say kudos to him. Another great artist that we were able to see was one of your favorites there, BZ, Donnie. Donnie.
Man, now that is the show that I am absolutely jelly that I missed because let me tell you, when he dropped his first album, Colored Section, I was an absolute fan. I mean, this man has a absolute divine voice. I mean, when I first heard his voice, and I will never forget when I was introduced to him. He was on Soul Train. That's when I was first in, yes, he was on Soul Train
So what
and he
year was
came out,
this?
gosh, when did this album come out? I think like 3 of the not early it was like early mid 2000s, but he was on Soul Train, and it was definitely after Don Cornelius,
Okay,
definitely
so when
after the Don
Shamar Moore.
Cornelius years.
So
Yes, I
when
believe
Shamar
it was
Moore.
Shamar
Okay,
Moore.
got it.
But, but when he came out with the bell bottoms, the butterfly collar,
Huh.
and when he hit that note and the voice, he puts you in that mind of Donny Hathaway and Curtis Mayfield and and just Cloud Nine. It was just like
Hey.
wow. And I mean, and that album still play it to this day, front to back.
And
Love that man.
it is so crazy that you say that because guess what? Fun fact. What I did not know, Donnie has ties to Marvin Gaye.
Believe it. Didn't know it. I believe it. I mean, that man is blessed. That man is blessed. And if you have not
Yes.
heard this man's album, pick it up. Colored Section.
And he did
Amazing album.
4 or 5 cuts from that album. And when I tell you it was everyone came out to see Donnie. I mean, it was amazing. And Algebra Lissette was the host for Saturday. So
Nice.
she introduced him She also got a chance to perform a little of her, a couple of her
Nice.
songs. Another fun fact,
Nice.
she also so another artist that we had an opportunity to see up close and personal was Esperanza Spalding. And
Ah,
for those that do not know, Algebra and Esperanza has a song
yep.
together,
They sure do.
you know? So
They
it's
sure
like
do.
for them to be singing this together, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, this was
That was a
amazing.
treat.
That was a
That
treat.
was a
That
treat,
was a treat.
man,
That was a
and that's the album that Esperanza Spalding won her Grammy for.
Grammy for.
So,
Exactly. So, it was
yeah,
fitting. It was just fitting. It was fitting for those 2 to do that, and for
yes,
me to be able to see that, live,
man.
in living color, so, oh my goodness. This thing was amazing. So, that was all Sunday. So, Saturday, again, we had a kind of a washout, of course, it rained the entire weekend, so, of course, didn't make it to Saturday's set, so that was Nate and that was Christian McBride. I really hate I didn't get a chance to see Christian McBride in concert or
Man.
Kamasi Washington because those are the 2 that I really, really wanted to see live and in person. So, but for Sunday, we had another treat. So we have Esperanza Spalding, we have Donnie, then we also have the legendary Roots crew. And I kid you not, this was
Oh,
the performance of a lifetime.
man,
These cats got down.
I bet.
My goodness. The drummer, of course, Questlove. Come on, y'all.
Questlove,
Come on, y'all.
the
The
Questlove,
Questlove.
man.
I must say, Black Thought rapped. They did a 2-hour set nonstop, nonstop, 2-hour set. The rain held off until their very last song. And it was crazy because it was so many people. I mean, like, again, we've been rained on throughout the day.
Mm,
But of course, we had, when it came down to the roofs and they hit the stage, everybody, it looks like it was just like even like a crowd of folks just kept coming up to the stage. It was like, where's these people coming from? It's raining. Man, it was nonstop boogie, funk, man, James Brown and the JBs. James Brown would have been
yeah,
very proud of this group because honestly, the transitions, the things that they did, they just literally went seamlessly between songs,
yeah,
one after the other. I mean, just,
man.
they were on it. When I say in the pocket, that's what
Yep.
we're talking about.
I mean, and that's what Questlove is known for. I mean, and
Right.
that's why when it comes down to it, when their number is called to be inducted, the Roots will be inducted.
Yes. No question.
Because let me
No
tell
question.
you, I mean, just the way Questlove just goes into it. I mean, just
And he makes it look easy. He makes it
he
look
does.
like he's baking a cake. You might be still he might be
I
whipping
mean,
the batter. It is just effortless, chef.
the man gives
It's
you a master class on the drums every time he's on there. And I mean, anytime I hear "Break You Off," I mean, just the ending. I can sit there and
mhm,
just listen to the ending of how he just transitions into just
over and over.
different beats. Just
Beast,
so
I'm telling you,
I'm
it
jealous,
was listen, for anybody who's never seen the Roots before,
and I have
they're
not.
supposed to be having their Roots picnic this weekend. Honestly, man, if you don't have your ticket, you're in the vicinity and you can get there,
Yes,
I suggest you go and run because
yes,
this is a treat. That group is
yes,
really, really good. Really, really good. And just to hear the span of hits that this group has had,
yes,
that's what I was listening for. The hits and everyone in the crowd just soaking it up. And they literally took us on a musical journey that was just
yeah.
like the band. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How many times have we gone to places and like, oh man, the lead singer is good of this band, but no one ever talks about or expressed their love for the band. He gave
Mhm.
you that. The rules give you that love
Yeah,
and that affinity for pure musicianship, excuse me,
yeah,
because the live instrumentation, the boy, that bass
yeah.
is, oh my goodness. My
I mean,
goodness,
and here's
the
the thing. I
guitarist.
mean, how many groups out there now actually play
Right,
live instruments now,
right,
especially rap groups? I mean, you don't have
exactly.
that. And
No,
then so that's why the Roots are special. I mean, truly, that's why they are special.
Mhm.
And so if they do ever come here to Phoenix, trust me, I am going
Yeah,
because I love the Roots. I mean, I just love live music in general,
exactly,
but I love the Roots. I mean,
exactly,
their music is just on point. And
exact
so, and like I said, I'm jealous because the fact that you got to see them because they have not performed in years.
right.
So the fact that you got to see them and this was a free
This
event,
was a free event. The
man,
Atlanta Jazz Festival is a free event, y'all, every year.
man,
This was their 49th. Next year's their 50th. So you know they're gonna go all out.
yeah,
They went all out this year, so I
yeah,
can only imagine what and cannot wait to see what they do, to celebrate their 50th because it's just, my goodness, truly amazing. The lineup that they had was just perfect. They had something for everyone. So let's
mhm,
fast forward to the actual Memorial Day. So Memorial
mhm,
Day comes around and we have Destin Conrad. And
yeah,
I'm like, "What?" So, I
nice,
mean, dude, Destin Conrad has now the crowd looks a little different. Imma say this. The crowd looks a little bit different. So earlier
mhm,
on, of course, we had, some of the Gen Zs, the millennials. Then the millennials started coming out, baby boomers, Gen Zs. Now the millennials are starting to come. So they're starting to rush the stage because Destin is coming. And I was like, "What is
oh,
going on, man?" Before you know it, it was just like so many young folks that were just assimilating together. It was like, what is going on? Just to see this young guy.
wow,
And it was just it was breathtaking because he was doing Ipanema. Man. And they knew
okay,
it. They knew it. They knew it word for word. And it was like he did jazz
nice,
standards mixed in with some of his stuff. And it was like, man, this is what
nice.
I'm talking about. He paid homage to those greats that came before him.
I love that. I
Dionne
love that.
Warwick's, the Sarah
Nice.
Vaughan's, the Ella Fitzgerald. So it was like, man, this is what I'm talking about. Young folks are still looking back and saying, hey, I like this music and I want to do my spin, my rendition of it. Still
Yeah,
keeps it alive. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This is what jazz is
same.
supposed to be. You know,
Yeah,
it's supposed to grow with folks. And the whole, you see blog posts where people are saying, jazz is dead. No, it's not. It's
no,
not.
no,
It's not. It's not.
no.
It can never
Jazz is
be
never
dead.
gonna die.
It's never gonna die. It's never
Exactly.
gonna die.
It's not.
And it's really in good hands. And I really would must say that. It's really in good hands from what I did take witness to watching him grace the stage. And then we have another
Nice.
group. Another group. This is another band. Butcher Brown.
Okay.
My God. Butcher Brown. I
Okay.
have an affinity for Butcher Brown because I love this group. I found them, and again, it was like, where did this group come from? This is Richmond, Virginia. They
Mhm.
hail from Richmond, Virginia. And again, instrumentation, just live
Nice.
instrumentation. The horn section, oh my god, this
It's
guy can
nice.
play different horns. He can play the trumpet, he can play the sax. He was changing out intermittently. It was just, man, melodic. The guy on the keys was amazing. The dude on the
Nice.
bass was amazing. It was just, oh my goodness, Butcher Brown is fun to watch. Guys,
Okay. Yeah,
we
he
have
is.
a 2026 artist to watch playlist on Apple Music and they're on there. Guys, please download it, listen to it, tap into Butcher Brown if you haven't. If you're not familiar with their work, please get out there
Check
and
him
listen to
out.
their stuff. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Butcher
'Cause
Brown
Butcher
is
Brown
amazing.
is yeah, he is. I mean, he's definitely gonna be the future of jazz.
Yes,
With the passing of Roy Hargrove, who
yes,
was, the face for so long, and he's still my
right.
favorite, so
Still
you
my
have
favorite.
these young cats who were coming out, so and Butcher Brown is one of those.
Right.
So, Theo Crocker.
Yes,
So,
another great.
you've got so many that are coming. So, so it sounds like you had an amazing time. And so I'll end it with this, with our talks about the Atlanta Jazz Festival. With the 50th anniversary, and we know Atlanta is gonna go big with it. So my
Yeah,
question to you is this: who do you hope they'll bring for the 50th festival?
Theo Crocker. So you said
Okay.
that. So Theo Crocker, I really wanna see Terrence Martin, please.
That would be good.
And
That would be good.
who I would love to see close it out is Terrence Blanchard. That's my all-time great. It's my all-time great right there. Or Stanley Clarke.
That would be good. That would be good.
I'll be good.
Okay.
I
Okay.
will be good. So if you guys are listening to this, the Atlanta Cultural Affairs Department, Terrence Blanchard, Terrence Martin, okay? 3 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. Man, well,
Yes,
Boogie, I appreciate you sharing your
of
experience
course.
with the Atlanta Jazz Festival. I hate that it was rained out.
Yes.
So,
That's the only thing I would
I
fix,
mean,
but
because
everything
right
else is
now
great.
you guys are experiencing 40 days and 40 nights of rain.
We are going
So,
through the
but
tribulations.
but hopefully next year you won't have that. It'll be nothing but sunshine next year. So that's the hope. So,
Right.
but now let's jump into our Hall of Fame discussion. Now, our the last time we talked about this, we talked about the nominees.
Yes.
Nominees have been picked, and now we're going to talk
Mhm.
about those been who are now the class of
Of
2026.
2026. Let's go
So
for it.
now when we got the list,
Mhm.
honestly, I was excited. I'm happy. I am
I'm
happy as a
happy
kid
too.
in the candy store.
I am too. I am too. I'm happy, but there is a little pain point somewhere though. But let's go into it. Let me
Okay.
just yeah.
And I get you there. I get you there. There are some pain points. Well, one pain point. So
Just
we
one.
might disagree with some, but
Mhm.
there is one. Let's start with the fan vote. Let's start with the fan vote. Now there were over 9 million votes that were submitted,
9 million.
and nine
Mm.
million, 9 million votes. And New Edition got the most votes in this year's fan vote. They got over a
Cool.
million.
Cool.
Yeah, they got over a million. They got a 1,022,683 votes. They topped everybody. No one
Good
was even
gracious.
close. Yeah. No one was even close to that number. Yes. The only one maybe close to it, but even wasn't even that close. Phil Collins. He came
Okay.
in second with
Okay.
900,825. Yes. Yes. The fans spoke up. They wanted New Edition
They want a new addition in there. They want a
in
new
this
addition in there.
vote. Yes, they want a New Edition. But in the end, Phil
Mhm.
Collins, Billy Idol, Iron Maiden, Joy Division, New Order, Oasis, Sade, which super excited, Luther
Yes.
Vandross, super
Yes.
excited, and Wu-Tang Clan.
And
Now, those were the ones that were on the list of the 17. Now,
mhm.
there is another set. Now, this set, though, these are your honorary
Yeah.
inductees. Now, these are the ones that were not on the list. Cecilia Cruz, which love her music. So if
Yeah.
you've never listened to her music, I mean, I consider her the godmother
She
of
is
Latin music.
of
I
Latin music.
mean, phenomenal artist, phenomenal. And Patti LaBelle has done music with her, and
Mhm. And
just
countless
great
others.
artist.
Yes. Mhm.
Exactly. Fela Kuti, which,
Be like
yes, he is, one of those who was an advocate for justice,
very
and
much
I'm
so.
so glad to be able to see that he's being inducted, especially with
Exactly.
the work that has done. I hate that he is not alive to be able to see it, but
Yeah, we just
again,
lost him. We just
yeah,
lost him. So the timing of this, ugh,
exactly.
yeah.
Queen Latifah, which you and I,
Yeah.
we've been rooting for this,
That's
right?
right. So they must have listened to our blog because we said that. How can you have Missy and not have her?
Exactly. So Miss Queen Latifah, MC Light,
Yes.
Graham
Like,
Parsons, Linda Creed, which I did a little homework with her. And Linda Creed, she has a great body of work. She was the one who wrote, what was it? What was the song? One of Whitney Houston's greatest hits. She is the one that wrote that song.
which one?
Greatest Love of All.
Greatest love of
That's the
all.
one.
Okay.
Yep. She wrote
I thought
Greatest
Burt
Love of
Bacharach
All.
wrote that, but okay. Linda
No,
Creed.
no,
Okay.
it was Linda Creed, and I'll definitely confirm.
Mhm.
but Linda Creed, and she wrote a lot of bodies of work.
Okay.
But she has a lot of great works.
Okay.
Sadly, she wasn't able to see all of this come to fruition. She passed in, I think it was 86 is when she passed from breast
Really?
cancer. But again, great body
Okay.
of work. And yes, greatest love of all is the song that she wrote.
She wrote. Okay.
She wrote You Make Me Feel Good. She was a co-writer for the Rubber Band Man.
Mm,
Co-wrote Bet You by Golly While. Yeah. You Are Everything. She's worked with the Stylistics, the Spinners.
mm.
She worked with Teddy Pendergrass. So again, a lot of bodies of work, and again, not a lot of people
Wow.
know her,
Know her.
especially with
Right.
passing so early
So
on.
early. Yeah.
But again, and on top of that, she was the one who found Smokey Robinson. Not a lot of people know
What?
that. Yes, yes. So
So we
found a
need to
lot.
do a deeper dive into that. Another that's for another episode. I mean,
Yes, yes,
yes.
it is.
Okay.
So wanted to do
Interesting.
a little bit of homework with her because I wasn't familiar with her. So
Right.
I wanted to do a little bit of homework, and so rightfully so with all of that body of work, rightfully so with inducting her.
Yes.
We've got
Absolutely.
Arif. Let me see. We've got Arif Mardin, Jimmy Miller, Rick Rubin, which again, we know the contributions that he's done with hip hop. So again, rightfully so. And then, which was surprising, Ed Sullivan, which I thought he was already in there.
Ed Sullivan
Exactly.
was not in there.
And Ed Sullivan was
Gosh.
not.
This is
So,
amazing.
so
So
with
information.
so with those who, are getting those honorary inductions, everyone that's on this list, well deserved. And
Right.
I am not upset with anyone who is being inducted
Exactly.
in this at
Exactly.
all for the class of 2026.
Right.
So it's good to see it, and I am happy that we've had the discussion
We
that
had the
Lauren
discussion.
Hill was not in this class because I would have been upset if
Right.
she
Right.
jumped
Right.
over so many others after only having one album. I would have
Yeah.
been, you know what? I'm gonna just not even sugarcoat. I would have been pissed. Would have been pissed. So.
And even so, because now that I'm thinking now, you're going through the honorees and the
Mhm.
honoraries, and I'm like, but still Roberta Flack is not in there though. But why was she part of that? I mean, because Roberta Flack wrote for a lot of people, guys. She had a serious career as far as being monumental. One in Luther. So
Mhm.
this
Black was in there.
Roberta Flack is not in there. No, I didn't. I went and looked at it when when we had our the previous discussion on it,
Yeah, yeah, you're
and
right.
she's not. Yeah, she's not in there, and not even for a songwriter. You know what I'm saying? When you started talking about Linda Creed, and I was like, okay, well, why
Yeah,
didn't
you're
we
right.
celebrate Roberta?
And she's never been nominated either.
So okay, this opens up a
Yeah,
whole nother
yeah, you're
discussion.
right.
It
You're right.
really
I completely
does.
forgot about that. So yeah, she's never been nominated and she's never yeah. So that is a question because she was
It's a huge
eligible and let's see, she could have been honored a long time ago, but
Cameras go.
there's no reason for her not.
None.
So yeah, that is a discussion
That is a
because I
discussion that needs
mean
to be had
there's no
because
reason for her not to be and she meets the criteria.
right,
So and and that's the question. I mean, and that's really the question that goes into who do you really look at to be inducted and who do you not look at to be inducted?
right. And I wanna know, like, is it a board that is setting up and looking at who's eligible, based off of certain criteria, or is this actually being voted upon? Because, again, we need to know. I mean, like, you're
So
saying one thing, but then it's
so
like,
to answer your question, yes, there is. So
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 there's a board?
So there is. So let's back up a little bit. So let's go into, the whole discussion of New Edition and them being snubbed. Because let's look at the body of work that New Edition has done. I mean, New Edition has been putting out music for decades. I
Decades
mean,
now.
at least 40 years of
Four.
music.
4
40
decades of
years of
music.
music.
Yes.
And in essence, they have been the blueprint of boy bands. They truly have. The modern day boy band. And so you were looking at it from the perspective of, okay, they won the fan vote. Why
Mhm.
did they not get in? So,
Mhm.
and that was the question for me. Like, okay, they won the fan vote. Why did they not get inducted? And so from what I learned, and this is what I got, is that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame voting system counts the fan vote as a single ballot. So, yes, the fan vote as just one single ballot, placing it on equal footing with over 1,200 ballots submitted by artists, historians, and industry professionals. So it's the artists, historians, and the industry professionals. Their vote weighs heavier versus the fan vote.
Okay.
And it
So then
makes sense.
we
It
need to talk
makes
about
sense
this then.
that their votes weigh heavier because here's the thing.
Right.
If the fan vote weighed heavier, then the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would then become a popularity contest. And
Exactly.
then anybody and everybody would then be able to get in. And
Right.
so I get it. You're having those who are closer in the industry, those who are working with these artists, knows their their body of work a little bit more than what we know. It weighs heavy. And so, seeing it from that perspective, it makes sense that the fan vote wouldn't weigh as heavy. So
Okay.
because if you look at it from this perspective, think about it. If we went by the fan vote, then you would have people like New Edition, Pink, Mariah Carey, and artists like that, even Lauryn Hill, then in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame versus Phil
Here's
Collins or
here's my thing with that as well, because like I said, and I hear what you're saying, but we've
mhm
got to also take a look at from because it's saying their peers, right? Persons
mhm
that are closest to working closely alongside the artist, whether that is
mhm
engineers, whether that is songwriters, whether that is, you know, mixers, or you see what I'm saying? So
mhm
it's really the behind the scenes of what becomes
mhm
this finished product.
yeah.
So again, they've been working, stage handlers, venues, things like this. They've been touching a lot of people and been in close contact, in proximity with a lot of artists throughout the years for countless years.
Mhm
So I just find it hard that no one would be saying, hey, these are the hardest working men in show business right now. Why wouldn't we give it to them when we've seen their work ethic? You
And
see
I
what I'm
get it.
saying? It's like it really is like who you know. Because now I'm asking myself, okay, did you vote me? If we go back to did you get polled? Did they call you? You know what I'm saying? It's like
I get it. I get it. And I mean, and part of that criteria when it comes to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, did they have an influence? Did they change the music? And so that's where, so to your point, the argument when it comes to Roberta Flack. Now, mind you, she wrote a lot of great music. She did. But what did she influence? So that's the number one question. Did she have an influence
so she
on
had an
music?
influence, but here's the thing. Who was the receiving person on that influence? Who actually received the influence? If it's one-sided, so, and then this is where I go back to Gene Simmons and what he was saying, and it's like, I don't want to make it that because this is music, and music is not
Mhm,
supposed to look at that, you know? It's not supposed to be marginalized in that kind of way. So if we're
mhm,
talking about true music, though, because
mhm.
somebody can take something from anybody. You can get inspiration and you can get influence from anything. Hell, you can get inspiration from Barney. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
And I get you. I get you. I feel you. I do. But, I guess, looking at it from this perspective, and this is how I'm going to look at it. As much as I love Roberta Flack's music, her chance of being inducted is going to be very slim
Yeah,
because
now that you said this, it is.
it's going to be very slim because she did not have a huge impact on the music industry versus like let's look at a Janet Jackson. How many artists do you hear that say, I learned my craft from Janet Jackson? How many people have you seen, mimic Janet Jackson style, putting a chair in their music video? So that's what I mean by that type of influence and how it goes through the years.
No,
That's the type of influence that Roberta Flack never had.
I think she did. She influenced Luther. That's what I'm saying. The argument is like she influenced Luther. If it wasn't for Roberta Flack, we wouldn't have Luther Vandross, so we wouldn't have this
I don't know.
conversation. So again, it's like she did influence the person that they nominated, the inducted. So it had to come from somewhere.
But
She gave it
does
a
he?
shot. And see, this is why I hate we don't give our flowers to our
Mhm.
people while they can
Yeah,
smell them. Because
yeah.
I would like because if he was alive and well, he would have been rooting for Roberta. I just
And
feel
you're
like
right. He would.
he would have got up there and said, "Hey, I'm accepting this award on behalf of Roberta Flack," because it wouldn't be no
Okay.
Luther without Roberta. Again, we gotta pay homage. I just said it. You gotta pay homage. This
Yeah.
young man
Mhm.
gets up here and sings Impanema.
Mhm.
How old is this song? We could say that
It.
nobody
Yeah.
who's singing this song. So
Mhm.
again, it's like it's based off of what you like
Mhm.
versus what somebody else is liking. I don't think that that's how we should be doing this with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I get it. I honestly I do. But it's
Because
truly.
again, think about what you just said about Linda Creed.
Mhm.
She wrote songs for one of the biggest artists on this planet, and she's just now getting her just due. Come on, man.
She is
We got
just
a
getting
problem with
her
that.
just due. And
We
I
got a
mean, and
problem with that. I got a problem
yeah,
with that.
I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, if she wasn't being inducted, we would have never known anything about her.
Exactly. So she would have just faded away into the shadows. But again, because someone took enough initiative, or maybe she was an inspiration to them, or they read the liner notes. This is why it goes back
Mhm.
to the importance of liner notes.
Right. And I mean, and here's the thing. And again, who's to say that Roberta Flack may not be inducted similar to how they are? Honorary. So because again, she has a great body of work, and that's something you cannot take away from Roberta
Alicia
Flack.
Keys
You
says it
can't.
all the time. If it wasn't for her, she wouldn't even been behind the organ if it wasn't for Roberta Flack. So again,
Mm,
even Lauryn Hill has paid homage to Roberta Flack and countless others. So it's like
yeah.
all these people that you guys are putting out there in the ether and saying, hey, this person, I feel like they should be nominated.
Mhm.
Or they didn't just pop out of the sky.
Yeah.
Everything is birthed out of something.
And you're right. And I mean, and here's the thing. You know, like I said, I love Roberta Flack. I do.
I do
Now,
too.
did Roberta Flack have the greatest voice? No, she didn't. But here's what made Roberta Flack stand out: her songwriting. And so that's where I say again, now, her being on the ballot, slim. But like I said, her chances of being, honorary, she may make it because again, the songwriting is there, the body of work is there. So that's probably going to be the only way that she does make it. Does she deserve it? She absolutely does.
Yes.
She absolutely does. So make no mistake, she does
Wow.
deserve to be in there.
Wow.
How she gets in there, it's probably going to be based on honorary submission. It's never going to be based on a vote.
Until
She's not
someone
going to
that's
get in
on that
there.
board is a huge Roberta Flack fan. That's the only time it's gonna be. So again, it is about what I like.
I mean, and
Tell
that's
you that's
part.
what Steve liked.
It's part of that, but also it probably comes into the deep dive from the historians because again, it goes deeper than just who I like because depending on the number of historians that they have on there, because
That's the thing. Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now, but he's one of the cats who really does a lot of deep dives, and he's always on a lot of the musical documentaries. And I think he's based out of Detroit, but he's one of those cats that really does his homework. And I want to say
Okay.
that he's on the voting board for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he does his homework. And this is one of the guys where when I say that he does his homework, he does his homework. And
Okay.
I would trust what he would say with what he does. And the work that he puts into it. And he'll probably even say that Roberta Flack deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And so he would be one of those that would probably nominate her, and he would be one of those that would probably be that would put other people on that list that we would probably not even think of, those unsung heroes
Right.
that deserve to be on that list as well.
Right.
It's
Right.
unfortunate.
It
Don't
is.
get me wrong. It
It
is
is.
it is unfortunate because there's
It
so
is.
many people who are behind the scenes that who, as you say, who have not gotten their flowers, who have not had the spotlight put on them,
Mhm.
and they deserve it. And they may
Right.
not, may no longer be here with us
With us. Right.
to be able to enjoy it.
Mhm.
And so that's where I will say, hopefully in the near future, Roberta Flack will get those accolades and be inducted. I
So,
mean, there
busy.
because there are so many.
I got another one there. We can have this discussion all night long.
Hmm.
Barry White.
Exactly. That was another name I was about to say, because Barry White hasn't been inducted, and that is a crime, Shane, a crime, because that man has done nothing but influence music.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, it's again, who is the person that's receiving the influence, or who is the projection? Who are we? Because music is again, music doesn't look at those things. Music just is.
Mhm.
So Barry White is a great example
Yeah.
as how music is just is. He made music, the music that felt good for him, but it was for his people. Now, if somebody else picked it up and ran with it, then so be it.
But let's be honest though, his music cross genre.
He didn't mean to it though. That's what I'm saying. So again, when we talk about influence, gotta be careful how we tote that word around because again, it's like to who? Because that's what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is saying. Well, I didn't know nothing about him. You know what I'm saying? But you're just one person. And again, I go back to that fan vote and you see how everybody knows New Edition. So even if you are a lover of true music, it's like for me, with this list and these people that were on the nominees, I took just like you did, we did our homework and we went and listened. I went back and listened to everybody's catalog. And there was some that I had never heard of, but I was like, this guy is good. Why we didn't hear from
Mhm.
this person?
Yep.
Now, he probably was played on this type of radio. And this is why we
Mhm.
got to stop with these labels and these boxes with music.
Yeah.
Just put
Yeah.
the music out there. Music
Yep.
just is.
Yep.
It doesn't come out of your mouth in that way. It doesn't know all
Mhm.
that. Those labels
Mhm.
man puts on everything. But music
Yep.
just is. Music is just
Exactly.
it's just that. It's just music. So
That's right.
again, it's like I go back. Why do we have these things where we putting people in boxes and we got to check off? Well, I thought it.
Mhm.
No, it shouldn't go that way, sir. No, no, no. We got to look at what this impact, the type of impact that this person's music and artistry shaped. Some people like Da Vinci. Some people like
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh. So if we
But
had a
at the
Rock and
end of
Roll
the
Hall
day,
of
it's
Fame for
just art.
that, yeah, exactly. So if you got one category, Van Gogh was insult. Well, he doesn't fit the criteria. No, look at this man's body of work. So again, we need to stop with this. We need to stop with this. Just celebrate music for what it gave you, if it moved
Mhm.
you, if it touched you, if it
Yeah.
changed you, and it can change you at any point in time of your lifespan. Again, like I said, there was artists that were on there that I found, and they're now my new favorites,
Yep.
you know,
Exactly.
in my old age.
Exactly.
So it's like, come on, why are we put limits on ourselves? Everything is infinite. Music is
Mhm.
infinite. and it will
It
always
is.
move and live.
It
Miles Davis
is.
we celebrate 100 years of Miles Davis.
100 years.
100 years of Miles Davis. And what I saw over the weekend, just to tie things back up to the Jazz Fest, is I saw interpretations and inspirations and their interpretations of his music throughout that Jazz Fest. So you mean to tell me that it is not influential? Come on.
Exactly. And his music still lives
Lives
on.
today, still lives
Still
on.
lives
And
on.
there's countless others, that followed in his footsteps. Lee Morgan, to be exact. Roy
Sonny
Hargrove,
Rollins.
Sonny
Yes.
Rollins. We just lost Sonny.
We just lost him. 95
So it's
years
like, come
old.
on, y'all. What you doing? What are you doing? Guys, come on, man. There's enough for everybody.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, you said it. You hit the nail on the head. And so, and so hopefully, as we progress, there's hope. There's hope.
There is, but I mean, it's like, I just wish that we would stop putting limitations and putting ourselves in these boxes when we don't
Yeah,
have to. When we
I
don't
agree.
have to. I just saw the American Music Awards Monday night,
Yep.
and Billy Idol closed the show out. And Queen Latifah was the host, and she was saying, I loved you, man. I loved you. This is rock. So this is a rapper telling this rocker, punk rock
Yep.
at that, punk rocker. Let me say that. Let me put the emphasis on punk rocker, punk. And she was saying how, man, I love your stuff. See, again, these boxes, dude, come on, man. What are we doing? Music it is.
It is.
It just is. Guys, if you like this conversation, you like the direction that we've been going, and you want to continue to have this conversation with us, and probably, put it down in the comments. Let me know who you would like to see. And honestly, we would love to hear from you guys if you
Yes.
feel the same way about New Edition being snubbed. Because honestly, I think they were. I think the panel didn't know nothing about New Edition, and they didn't care to find out anything about New Edition. But if you see that the popular vote is this high, something about you, if you have spent and dedicated your life to music and all things music, whether it's journalism, whether it is just critiquing music, you know what I'm saying? Something should have said, oh man, let me listen to this. Then why is everybody in awe? So that way you can don't talk about something you know nothing about. My mama always used to say, if you don't have nothing good to say about somebody, don't say nothing at all.
Say nothing at all.
There you go.
Yep.
So guys, if you love this conversation, you want to keep this conversation going, please follow us on all social media outlets. Guys, you can watch the full episode on YouTube. Follow us at our YouTube channel, Vibe Theory, and also follow us on Spotify, Amazon Music. We're now on Deezer. Deezer. Yes. So check us out. We're on Apple Music as well. If you just want to hear us as you're driving to work, dropping the kiddies off, do that. Please check us out.
Yeah.
And until next time, keep the vibe and protect your peace. Peace.